Hello my fellow pilots and citizens, and welcome again to another episode of Star Citizen FM, episode 43. Star Citizen FM is a fan-run show that covers anything related to Star Citizen, the community, or anything else in the verse that might catch your fancy. Star Citizen FM is hosted by yours truly, Dr. Hawk. So let's get on with the 43rd episode. Well, look at that. I decided to take a break from Star Citizen and you guys just go nuts with your wallets. In the time that I took my little break, you guys not only surpassed the $25 million stretch goal, but the $26 million stretch goal as well. With the $25 million that you guys pledged, you unlocked two things. First was the Enhanced Alpha. At the $25 million, you will allow us to build a stronger infrastructure for the Star Citizen Alpha test. We will use additional funding to build a wider alpha test than we originally intended for the first phase of Star Citizen's launch. The initial plan was to first launch servers in North America and then to expand to areas such as Europe, Australia, and to decrease latency in these areas, perfecting the game as we improve the experience around the world. This funding will allow us to invest in a wider infrastructure for our early testing, spinning up remote servers earlier, and hitting this goal will also allow us to increase the number of remaining alpha slots. Each extra alpha slot not only means more Star Citizens will travel the verse at launch, but we will also receive more feedback and more stress testing. This in turn will allow us to better balance and enhance the Star Citizen experience. You guys should pat yourselves on the back, as this goal is not only good just in terms for the game, but as the community as well. We're starting to get a lot of more Star Citizens, not just even citizens, but people in general. People are starting to take more and more attention to Star Citizen, and see that this is a game that will very easily achieve what it set out to do. We still have a few naysayers here and there that are a little worried that we bit off more than we can chew, but given that we're giving them the optimal amount of funding that they need to do this, and now they know they have a passionate group of people, that's you guys, behind them to support it, I have no doubt that this will help. Having a wider alpha test will also enhance the game itself in the sense of network. We'll be able to iron out more bugs. We'll have more people experiencing and beta testing and ironing out those bugs that we hate so much. And it'll also refine the experience more. So maybe some other people prefer this kind of play method, or maybe they don't like that kind of play method. It'll all allow us to refine the game into the game that we want Star Citizen to be. So, good for you guys, and when the time comes for the Enhanced Alpha, be sure to put as much effort into it as you can, as you guys are doing to the Hangar module right now. I would know there are a lot of you right now that are taking the time to test that thing as much as you can, even though there isn't a whole lot to do in there, and you guys are to be commended for your efforts. Now, as mentioned, you guys also broke the $26 million stretch goal. Now, I think this is partly due to the Hornet sale, which we will cover, and I think everyone else can agree. But until then, we have also unlocked the enhanced capital ship systems. So in addition to the command and control systems that they have already outlined, we're going to expand capital ship functions. Lead a damage control team to fight fires and repair key systems during battle. Control internal bulkheads to slow borders and man a number of consoles, like navigation and engineering, that will make commanding a capital ship feel even more immersive. This actually reminds me quite a bit of the Artemis Bridge Simulator. For those of you that aren't aware, Artemis Bridge Simulator is a space game that allows you and a few other friends to take control of specific stations just like you would in a sci-fi game or movie. Artemis may be a little bit of influence in this type of system, so we may see some crossover, or maybe the guys at SC are coming up with their own unique version that we will be able to experience in true Chris Roberts fashion. Some people might argue that this is straying a little bit from the original vision of Star Citizen being a space-only sim. I think that those people might be thinking a little too much in the aspect of a first-person flight simulator. Chris Roberts has always had a lot of immersion in his games, not only just in the flying aspect, but talking to people, tinkering around with things, etc. And not being able to play around with the capital ship while it's burning, exploding, and leaking radioactive fuel would actually be fairly disappointing to somebody such as myself, who likes leaking, burning radioactive fuel, even if it's possibly detrimental to my health. So having this kind of experience might help those also who maybe are not too good in flying and find themselves being better at a navigation console or maybe a mechanic. It would allow a lot more options for the gamers to find what they want to do in the Star Citizen universe and help shape the role that they choose to do. So, let us see more of this. Our next stretch goal, is a new starter ship actually. The team at Consolidated Outland has decided to take Robert Space Industries head-on in 2944 by premiering the Mustang personal spacecraft, not to be confused with the Mustang car. We will use these additional resources to create another ship company and starter ship for Star Citizen. The new ship will be offered to sale alongside the Aurora, so players will have a choice between two options to begin the game. With no official artwork or anything yet, we do not have much to go on as for what the Mustang will be capable of, if it actually looks like the car, or if it has any offensive or defensive capabilities. It could just end up being a ship that isn't, anything amazing. All we really have are the official little document that they gave us, so for convenience I will read it and we will decide what happens later. Founded by maverick trillionaire Silas Coroner, Consolidated Outland is an up-and-coming spacecraft concern, the first ever headquartered on a frontier world. Coroner, who made his sizable fortune in jump communications, founded the company as an attempt to strike back at what he sees as the overly regulated spacecraft industry. With facilities established as far as possible from the prying eyes of competing corporations, Outland is quickly becoming one to watch. After finding initial success with spacecraft conversion kits, Outland is now ready to run with the big boys. The new Mustang spacecraft line is preparing to go into mass production and is priced to compete with Robert Space Industries' Aurora. Using newly developed construction techniques and ultralight material alloys, sometimes considered unsafe, the Mustang pushes power ratios to the limit. The result is a sleek, stylish spacecraft that weighs less than the Aurora and has more options for engines than thrusters, at the expense of some stability, weapons hardpoints, and cargo capacity. The Mustang isn't planned as a replacement for the Aurora, it's another option that may better suit some playstyles. Want a reliable personal Starship? Go with the Aurora. Want something with a little more power at the expense of cargo? Try the Mustang. So, as mentioned, it could not be anything really maybe special, or who knows, maybe it will just be that Shelby Cobra GT that I want in space. Although, having that thing fly around may be a little weird. So keep an eye out for the Mustang, we may see some concept art coming out soon, and until then we can keep our eyes on that next stretch goal. As mentioned, to those of you that are not yet aware, the Anvil Aerospace F7C Hornet is now available for purchase. There are 7 different kinds of packages and ships available, so you guys should head over right now and check it out if you are not aware. The Hornet sale has already driven up by $2 million, and I foresee it driving up a few million more dollars. So if you're interested in picking up, let's say, a Weekend Warrior package, or maybe just the base Hornet itself, now would be a good time to do it, and it'll only set you back about $100. So if your credit card company is not yet yelling at you for a maxed out credit card, why not max the skills just a little bit more with an Anvil Aerospace F7C? If you're not interested in buying, you can also find the Hornet brochure. Just like every one of the other ships, they have been put together by a top artist over at CIG, and you can check it out in all its glory. For those of you who are interested in maybe a more video format and have not yet seen the official trailer, I will now allow you to watch the official trailer that was released by Anvil Aerospace for the F7C.
Legendary fighter pilot Aria Riley once said, "Give me a fully loaded Hornet, and I'll shake the gates of heaven." Anvil Aerospace's Hornets have faced Vandal, Xi'an, pirates, and criminals. They've logged more combat time and kills in more theaters than any other ship in the history of space combat. Battle-tested in the harshest conditions, the Hornet has proven time and again its ability to withstand damage and still be able to dish it out. With all the punishment it handles on a daily basis, don't you think the new Hornet can handle yours?
Honey, I got the ice cream you wanted.
Anvil's new Hornet F7C. See your authorized ship dealer for options.
A very beautiful trailer to be released by Anvil Aerospace and our fellows over at CIG. I actually think it is a much better improvement from the one that they premiered during the live stream. A few extra things were changed here and there, audio clips placed, and I think it provides for a much more dramatic experience. As for any of you that have missed out on any other information regarding to the Hornet, you can do so by finding it in the comm link, which there's a link to in the video below, or you can check on the comm link at robertspaceindustriescom. In other related ship news, for any of you that have been bickering and complaining and demanding for updated ship information, and rightly so, you guys now have an update. Updated on October 30th, 2013, the ship page stats now has updated stats to reflect the current, or at least thought to be current, information of any of the ships. So you can compare your P-51 Merlin to your F-7A Hornet to your Avenger. Anyone that you want to compare to, complete with every kind of role, manufacturer, variants, blah blah blah. Everything you could ever wish for. You can find that over in the comm link, or in the direct information right itself, over in the Star Citizen tab, down past About a Game to Ship Specs. And remember, as we get closer and closer to the game's release, these stats will get more and more reflective to how they work, and are also subjective to change during the alpha and beta test as things are balanced and set into proper order. One other ship-related announcement that actually takes place more in the real world. For any of you out there that are quite skilled with your modding, or otherwise any sort of 3D software or anything else, some of you might have noticed the announcement of the next great Starship. This is a competition released by Cloud Imperium to find the next starship that they plan to use in Star Citizen. The idea is to have 16 different modeling teams compete against each other to see who can create the next starship that CIG will use. There's a grand prize of $30,000 as well as some other, and Lord forgive me for saying this, swag. Yeah, no, I can't be forgiven for saying that. Anyways, other goodies to be collected alongside it, as well as some other prizes to both the second place, runners-up, etc. If you have a team in order and you and 2 other people are interested in modeling a starship, you can head on over to the link in the description right now on the screen, or onto the webpage itself at Robert Space Industries right now to sign up your team. Be sure to read through the regulations as well as the rules and make sure that you fit all of the requirements before doing so. The last thing I would like to see is somebody getting disqualified because they forgot a decimal point. Although I'm just bullshitting there, you wouldn't actually be disqualified for a decimal point. This actually brings up another point of topic that I wanted to cover. Some of you are already familiar with this gentleman, and some of you may not be. To those of you that are not familiar with anything FPS, I wanted to do a short little highlight on the man. Unfortunately, I have not been able to get in contact with him. Anything FPS has done quite a few videos for Star Citizen already, taking each ship into the CryEngine, showing them off in different aspects, as well as doing puzzle versions of the ship and assembling piece by piece. He has been highlighted by Wingman himself numerous times, and apparently has even had them reach out to them. Anything FPS, I actually want to take the moment just for Star Citizen FM to tell you this. Go work for them. Please. If you have real life commitments, I can easily understand that, but you have quite the opportunity here, and I wanted all the Star Citizens to join me and try to get this man hired on with CIG. It would be very amazing to see one of the first community members that have, been following Star Citizen get taken on to work on the project with, Chris, Eric, Ben, all of those guys. I think it would be a crowning achievement to show a community member working for the game they care about. So anything FPS, to I say to you, great work, keep it up, and Lord man, if you get the opportunity, jump on it, because there are a lot of MDS people, including myself, happy mind you, who are quite happy for you, and I honestly want to see this happen. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave you guys for today, and again I apologize for no episode of Star Citizen FM last week. I found I actually had to take a little bit of a break. I was just burned out. But I guess it happens, and I'm back with a passion. And I believe my next episodes will try to get a little better, as I will have access to all my gear again after the basement is done getting fixed. So until next time, you guys take care and fly safe. For those of you that are new to Star Citizen FM, if you're interested in seeing any future shows, you can do so by clicking subscribe on the top left hand corner, or clicking the little hawk on the video right now. If you have any feedback that you'd like to leave, be sure to give me a like or a dislike, or even comments or complaints. I always try to improve my show, and I'm always taking feedback, and it's much appreciated and helps me go on. For anything else that you guys need, you can do so by leaving any other questions or comments. And until then, I'll see you guys on Star Citizen FM episode 44. You guys take care and fly safe.